What's up, fans? Welcome back to the show, Guys Time with the Brys. I know it's been a very long time since the Brys has done an episode for the podcast, but it's great to be back. As you can see, I'm wearing my Buffalo Bills jersey, Josh Allen jersey today. So, yeah, football right around the corner. We got preseason starting tomorrow night. Obviously, we had the Hall of Fame game last week between the Bears and I do believe it was the Texans, I want to say. The Texans and the Bears. Yeah, the Bears won that one 21-17. So, yeah, that was the Hall of Fame game. But now this week we got preseason week one officially, or week two, I guess, according to the internet. You got the Lions and the Giants going at it tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And then you got the Panthers and the Patriots going at it tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So 2 games on tomorrow, preseason, the Lions and the Giants. Both got fined $200,000 each for the fights, the multiple fights that occurred during the joint practices. And it's expected, it's like, why do they even have these joint practices? Fights are going to come out, guys wearing pads for the very first time in a long time. They're going up against someone on the other team. They're ready to throw down, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of energy. They're ready to hit somebody. So obviously these fights are going to happen, but, obviously multiple fights happening yesterday and throughout the week between the Lions and the Giants. So, yeah, each team got fined $200,000. So, yeah, the NFL is really not messing around when it comes to fights at joint practices. So, we'll see what they do tomorrow night. And the Lions, obviously, all of you know, they had probably their best season in a very long time last year, the 2023 season. They lost the NFC Championship game. That was very unfortunate, but we'll see what they can do this year. I see the Lions going all the way, in my opinion. I see them winning the NFC North once again, and then they have a deep run in the playoffs and then competing in the Super Bowl. This time winning the NFC Championship and then going and competing for a Super Bowl title. That's my opinion. I know the last time I mentioned it, I hinted at it way back in the end of May. That was the last time I did an episode here on the podcast. I think the last time we were talking about how Dustin Poirier might become champion against Islam Makhachev. Obviously, so many months later, he did not defeat Makhachev. Makhachev retained the title. But you got to give credit to Dustin Poirier. His takedown defense was amazing, but Islam proved to be too much for the Diamond, so he ended up losing that one. But yeah, speaking of UFC, we'll talk about that today as usual. We got the NFL, the 2024 Summer Olympics is happening, so I hope you guys have been watching that. I've been watching a little bit, not too much. As you can tell, I'm ready for football. I'm ready for college football. I'm ready for the NFL. So let's get going on that, right? And then I think the last time we were talking, the Stanley Cup Finals were happening as well. The Florida Panthers going up against the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers took it to Game 7. They were down 3-0 early in the series. They tied it up, forced the Game 7, and ultimately lost to the Florida Panthers. So the Florida Panthers, congratulations on becoming the 2024 Stanley Cup champs. Great team. I mean, they were kicking ass all season long, and they've been a pretty good team for the past couple of years, so it was good for them to win their first Stanley Cup title in franchise history. So yeah, that's how long it's been. Hockey's been gone for a couple months now. So, but yeah, it's great to be back, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, August 7th, 2024. This edition of Guys Time with the Brys. So yeah, as usual, as I mentioned, we got football, we got UFC to talk about. We got to talk about a little bit about boxing. But yeah, mainly football and combat sports today. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. So yeah, thank you for coming back. Like I said, I know it's been a very long time since the Brys has done an episode. I've been in a little funk lately. It hasn't been good, but I'm human. It happens. We hit rough patches in life sometimes, but we just got to get out of it. So here I am back doing what I love to do, talk about sports, doing the podcast. So let's get started, shall we? So yeah, let's talk about this NFL schedule. So as I mentioned earlier, we got the Lions and Giants tomorrow at 7 o'clock. You got the Panthers and the Patriots tomorrow. So 2 games tomorrow, preseason. So we got that going on. And then to wrap up the weekend, you got the Falcons and the Dolphins playing tomorrow, the Texans and the Steelers, the Eagles and the Ravens. So 3 games on tomorrow. And then Saturday's schedule. Let's see what we got for Saturday. We got the Commanders and the Jets going at it. You got the Bears and the Bills, and then the Raiders and the Vikings, Packers and Browns, and then Chiefs and Jaguars, Buccaneers and Bengals, and then the 49ers and the Titans, and then Seahawks and Chargers, Saints and Cardinals. That's all Saturday games. So a lot of Saturday games going on this weekend. And then Sunday you got the Broncos and the Colts, and then the Cowboys and the Rams. So that'll wrap up week 2 officially, I guess you can say, of NFL preseason. And then obviously the regular season starts Thursday night, September 5th. It'll be the Chiefs and the Ravens. So you got Patrick Mahomes going up against Lamar Jackson. That's been a quarterback duel for a few years now. A very exciting matchup. Usually when those two teams go together, go against one another, it's usually a very exciting game. Two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league right now going at it. So you know for sure the Brys will be watching that one. And then that same week 1, the Lions, primetime game, Sunday Night Football at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan, going up against the Rams. Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford. Obviously, Matthew Stafford, as most of you know, was the Lions quarterback for many years, and now he's with the Rams, so he's coming back to Detroit as they did in the first round of the playoffs last season, so that's going to be a very interesting game. The Rams looking for revenge against the Lions, and the Lions looking to keep that momentum going. Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, they lost the NFC Championship game against the number 1 seed, the 49ers, on the road this past season, but with how the Lions did last year, you know, the league has eyes on them. You know, I do believe they have 5 primetime games this year. So this is one of them, obviously. So they got to come and ball out. They got to take care of business Sunday night for week 1. So that's going to be very interesting. So two games to highlight there. Thursday night game to start off the 2024 season. You got Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going up against the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, and then Sunday Night Football you got the Lions taking on the Rams at home against Matthew Stafford, Lions' former quarterback. So week 1's going to be very interesting. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. It's going to be awesome. And then obviously on top of that, we got fantasy football. The Brys will be doing fantasy football once again this year. This is my 4th year running the show for that league, so yeah, it's been crazy. You know, we did a championship belt this last year, starting last year. Obviously, the winner of fantasy football, my cousin Trevor Opaleski out in Seattle. He won it last year in a nail biter against my brother and Leon. Shout out to those guys. Hell of a championship matchup for fantasy football. I think my cousin won by 0.1 or 0.1 points. It was a very close matchup. I can't remember. I just know it was a very close matchup, and my cousin came out on top, and he's the defending Guys Time at the Brys fantasy football champion. So if you guys remember, I think I showed it a couple times here on the podcast. So yeah, you got this bad boy right here. Got the championship belt. Guys Time at the Brys championship belt. Shout out to the guys at Trophy Smack for supplying this. That was pretty cool. It says Guys Time at the Brys. Got my logo. And then fantasy football champion. So yeah, right here, guys. See it? Yeah, there you go. You better look at it. So yeah, championship belt. So yeah, whoever wins this year will win the championship. So we'll see if my cousin Trevor can defend the title, or if the other 11 of us, because we got 12 guys in the league, the other 11 will become champions. So yep, right here, Guys Time the Brys championship belt right here. It's whoever wins will win the championship belt. It's gonna be a good one this year. So yeah, my 4th year running this. We started doing this last year. Whoever wins the championship belt. Pretty cool, pretty neat. You know, kind of like WWE style or UFC style or boxing style, you know, championship belt. But yeah, Trevor Opaleski defending his title. You know, we'll see if he can win this year. So yeah, right there, like I said, shout out to Trophy Smack supplying the championship belt. They did a really nice job. So shout out to you guys. You guys did a phenomenal job. So yeah, who's gonna win this year? Hopefully the Brys. You know, it's my league, right? I gotta win one of these times. So, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's a championship belt for you. I think I showed it on the podcast before. So, but yeah, that's that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your fantasy football leagues this year. You know, it's a great time. You know, great bonding time between friends and family. Who doesn't love football, right? So, yeah, you got that, and then you got college football coming up right around the corner. Michigan and the defending national champions. We'll see what they can do. Obviously the Big Ten expand this year. You got USC in there, UCLA, Oregon, Washington join the mix. So yeah, Big Ten is a bigger team, bigger conference now. So lots of challenges face the Wolverines, but we'll see what happens. I think they'll do a good job. But yeah, the season they had last year was phenomenal. I mean, I'm glad they won the national championship. First one I've seen with my own eyes in my lifetime. Same with the Lions winning a playoff game last year, this past season. So yeah, it was good year for Michigan sports for the most part. Yeah, we just got to get those Red Wings and Tigers and maybe Pistons to get on board and start kicking ass and winning games and going to the playoffs. But we'll see with that. But yeah, football right around the corner, guys. So enjoy. Like I said, 2 preseason games on tomorrow night. You got the Lions and the Giants. Going to be a good one. Check them out. Both start at 7. The other game is the Patriots and the Panthers. So check them out, and then yeah, get ready for fantasy football. Do your mock drafts, and yeah, that's going to be exciting. So we got that going on. And then, yeah, some news going around in the NFL. Obviously, a lot of signings. Taylor Decker signed a contract to stay with Detroit, a 3-year contract. You got Tyreek Hill restructuring his contract to stay with the Miami Dolphins, 3 years, $90 million. So you got that. Jordan Love signed a contract, making him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Trevor Lawrence was at that time. But the crazy thing is, it's Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and Joe Burrow are going to make the same money this year. It's $55 million. So we'll see if they live up to it. So you had that going on. Let's see who else. Obviously, Stephon Diggs no longer with the Buffalo Bills. He's with the Houston Texans now. Yeah, as I mentioned, the Giants and Lions both got fined $200,000 for multiple fights at the joint practices. Harrison Butker signed a deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, he's been in the media these past couple months because he gave a commencement speech at a college, and he talked about how women are like the homemakers. And a lot in the media thought that was very, very offensive to women. Misogyny, I guess. Hatred of women, or just disrespectful to women. I mean, that's the media for you. So really, I don't have no comment about it. There's other things we need to worry about besides what one guy believes. His beliefs and what he, and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But yeah, he's been in the media because of that. But now he signs a big contract. So obviously, a lot of people are going to be talking about that. So he signed a big contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Harrison Butker did. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy offseason for the NFL. I'm just ready for football. Let's get this train rolling. I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready as well. So yeah, just some news for the NFL, and then also the NFL is adopting a new kickoff rule. It's basically like they influence from the XFL or the UFL really. Obviously the XFL and became the UFL merging together. So they're trying to adopt a rule from the previous XFL about the kickoff rule. So obviously the kicker will start at its own 35-yard line, and then the kicking team will start at the opposing 40-yard line. They got 5 yards between one another. They can't move until the ball is either touched on the ground or returned by a returner inside the 20-yard line. It's crazy. I mean, I've seen it a few times in some UFL games. So yeah, the NFL trying to adopt that rule. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's going to be very exciting. They're trying to get more returns and create less collisions, obviously with the guys not being able to move except for the kicker and the returner until the ball is touched on the ground or touched by a returner. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And a new kickoff rule, we'll be seeing that probably in preseason as well. So check that out. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of comments about it. I'm going to check it out as well, see how that works for the NFL format. Should be exciting, but it can also be a disaster. I mean, remember a few years ago they were trying to review pass interference calls. Yeah, it didn't work out too well. So we'll see. This is the NFL trying to be progressive. trying to attract a younger audience, trying to do new things and stuff like that. So you got that going on, and that's all football. Crazy enough, right? Yeah, just right around 15 minutes. It's crazy, right? Since I haven't done an episode in a while, but we gotta move on. We gotta talk about the UFC. So yeah, obviously, last weekend we had a UFC fight night, pretty decent card. I was only able to watch the first round of the main event. Corey Sandhagen going up against Umar Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov won by unanimous decision, but I heard it was a good fight, 5-round fight. Usually the main events are 5-round fights, so you had that going on. Tony Ferguson, unfortunately, losing again, got choked out by Michael Chiesa. It looks like Tony Ferguson's done. I think he needs to ride into the sunset. I mean, he has nothing to prove. I think he's done. He's 40. He's not the same fighter he was. He just needs to retire and take his losses and enjoy life after mixed martial arts. I mean, Tony, you're a legend. One of the greatest to ever step foot in the octagon. You have nothing else to prove, man. So we'll see what happens with that. You got Davison Figueiredo taking care of business against Marlon Chito Vera. That was a decent fight there. But yeah, this card was pretty good. Some of the prelims were actually pretty nice as well. But yeah, you had that, and then a couple weeks ago, UFC 304, you had Belal Muhammad becoming the new welterweight champion against Leon Edwards. I watched this fight, and I wasn't impressed at all. Leon Edwards did not come to fight, obviously. He was trying to look for some form of leg kick or whatnot, and he just couldn't handle the constant pressure being brought on by Belal Muhammad, and that was the difference maker. That's why Belal Muhammad is the champion now, because he went after him. He used his wrestling, his grappling, and Leon Edwards was not ready for that. So very, very disappointing in seeing that, but it is what it is. Obviously, that's fighting sometimes. Sometimes you get good fights, good championship fights. Sometimes you don't. In that case, it was not a good championship fight, but we move on, right? So yeah, that, and then Tom Aspinall taking care of business. First round knockout against Curtis Blades. Paddy Pimblett submitted King Green, previously known as Bobby Green. Kind of bit him in the ass a little bit, right? Changing his name because he got submitted by Paddy Pimblett. So that was exciting to watch there. So yeah, no, that was a decent card as well. I just didn't like the main event. But then last week, as I mentioned, the fight night between Corey Sandhagen and Umar Nurmagomedov, that was a good card as well. You have a fight night this weekend, 2 heavyweights going at it. Marcin Tybura and Sergey Spivak going at it. So that'll be the main event there. And then let's see what else we got. UFC 305 coming not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, August 17th. You got Dricus du Plessis, the middleweight champion, defending his title against Israel Adesanya. So that's going to be a very interesting fight there. Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker on this card as well. So that's going to be an interesting fight there. Tai Tuivasa on this card. So some big names there. So yeah, that's next week, UFC 305. Next week episode, I'll give my picks for that. You know how the Brys does it. We'll see if I remember how to do that. I know it's been a while, but so yeah, UFC 305 next Saturday, middleweight title there, and then UFC 306. That's the one in the Sphere, so that's going to be very interesting. And the thing about that, the Canelo Alvarez fight, same venue, same day. So Dana White was very pissed about that. I don't know how that's going to work out. You got 2 combat sports competing in the same venue on the same day. So we'll see what happens with that. But as of right now, you got Sean O'Malley going up against Merab Devalishvili for the UFC bantamweight title. That's going to be an interesting one. You got Alexa Grasso defending her flyweight title against Valentina Shevchenko. A rematch from when Grasso submitted Shevchenko a while back. So that's going to be an interesting one there. Brian Ortega back in action going up against Diego Lopez. So that's going to be an interesting one there. So yeah, decent card. September 14th. But as of right now, yeah, you got scheduling conflict there with the Canelo Alvarez fight. So we'll see what happens with that. And then UFC 308, I saw this a couple of days ago, October 26th, stacked card. I mean, the main event, you got Ilia Topuria defending the featherweight title against Max Holloway. that's going to be a banger of a fight. You got the middleweight co-main event. Robert Whittaker going up against Khamzat Chimaev. You got Cyril Gane going against Alexander Volkov. Big heavyweights going at it. And then you got Ankalaev, light heavyweight, going against Alexander Rakic. That's going to be an interesting one there. But yeah, lots of big names. Dan Ige is on this fight card. RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos, and Jeff Neal is on this card as well. So some big names on that card. I can't wait for that. October 26th, UFC 308. Check it out. It's going to be a good one. So yeah, UFC, man, they continue to bust out some banger fight cards throughout the year. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. UFC, you got Fight Night this weekend, and next weekend we got Dricus du Plessis defending the middleweight title against Israel Adesanya. So check that one out. It's going to be a good one. And we end today's podcast. I know we usually end the podcast with UFC, but we're going to mix it up a little bit. First time doing an episode in almost 3 months. We're going to talk about a little bit of boxing. So yeah, as you guys know, I've been doing boxing for close to a year now, and it's one of the greatest things I've ever done. You know, I'm glad I'm part of the boxing community now. I've been watching more boxing as a result, just trying to learn, trying to dissect each fighter, learn from what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, so then I can apply it when I'm training or sparring or whatnot. So yeah, I've been watching more boxing as a result, and it's actually pretty nice. You know, a lot of people say boxing's a dying sport. You know, I still think boxing's gonna stick around for the most part. You know, you got some good big name fighters out there like Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, who just won another title in a different weight class, four championships and 4 different weight classes, I do believe. He won that last weekend as well. So big names like that, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, which I think he's done. He just got done. He just got beat by some guy from China. I forgot his name, but yeah, Anthony Joshua as well. So, you know, there's some big names out there. I don't think it's a dying sport. As long as you got Canelo Alvarez competing and guys like that, I think boxing's here to stay. And then obviously you got Jake Paul. You know, everyone wants to criticize Jake Paul. He's actually not that bad of a fighter. I just wish he could fought an actual boxer. You know, I guess he's supposed to fight Mike Tyson in November, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah. So yeah, you had the Terrence Crawford fight last weekend, Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, 12 rounds for Alvarez's undisputed super middleweight championship. Same day, supposed to be in the Sphere in Las Vegas, Nevada, September 14th, same day as a UFC pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know how the hell they're going to make that happen. And then obviously the following week after that, September 21st, in London, you got Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, 12 rounds for the vacant IBF heavyweight title, so that's going to be an interesting one there. You got Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, 8 rounds on November 15th, so we'll see if that fight actually goes through. And then you got Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury, 12 rounds for Usyk's undisputed heavyweight championship. Obviously a rematch from a few months ago. That was actually a pretty damn good fight. I watched that fight. That was good. A tremendous heart from Usyk coming back and taking down Tyson Fury to become the champion. So we got a rematch with that towards the end of the year. So that's gonna be a good one. But yeah, some key dates for boxing. Check it out. You boxing fanatics. I know my people at New Way Training Center are going to watch it. Shout out to Kamel Makhled. He is a big boxing fan. He's actually making his pro debut, hopefully soon. He turned pro, so congrats to him. You know, he deserves a kicked ass at this year's Metro Detroit Golden Gloves tournament, defending the title. He's a 2-time Golden Gloves champion, so now he's making his pro debut, and I know for a fact he's going to have great success, kick ass, and take care of business. So congrats to Kamel. You're the man. Keep being you, and yeah, we'll definitely have to meet up again one day soon. You know, he trained me yesterday, so maybe this weekend we'll hang out. But yeah, those are your boxing events, ladies and gentlemen. You boxing fanatics, check it out, save the dates. It's going to be a good one. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. So not too bad for not doing an episode in a long time. I don't think I did too bad. You guys can be the judge of that. But yeah, thank you for joining me on this edition of Guys Time to Brys. As you all know, the audio version of this episode will be available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Just type in Guys Time to Brys. New episode should be uploaded at that time, and then the video version will be available on my YouTube page at Guys Time to Brys, so check that out as well. But yeah, it was a pleasure doing an episode again. It was fun. I can get used to this again. But yeah, you guys were great as usual. And yeah, watch some football this weekend. You got fight night this weekend. You got the 2024 Olympics, Summer Olympics in Paris. Keep watching that. You got boxing, a couple of key events coming up within the next couple months. And yeah, you guys enjoy the day. All right, peace out, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for joining me. You guys are amazing. Peace out. The Brys is out.